And finally, I'm going to talk about the heroes, how to level them. I'm not going to do like a tier list, just going to go like super quickly over them and my recommendations for what to get. So if you check the filter, you can see the four factions and Celestials and Hypogeans. First of all, when you start the game, you are not going to have that many strong heroes, so you are going to have maybe two or three S level heroes. Like the others are going to be A level. The way to increase them changes. For A level, you need to get more copies of the same hero to level them. This is S level, so it's from Supreme Plus to Paragon, it's just 6 copies. But if you see, for instance, this hero, from Supreme Plus to Paragon, it's 45 copies. So that's going to be different. And that depends on which heroes you're going to try to focus on. Each faction has some heroes that are better than others, like for AFK or PvP. In this case, I'll just name some of them. So Bala, which is also a light beater, is really used for PvP, not so much for PvE, unless you use her in towers. So you can skip her for maybe at least half your gameplay. Myrel is kind of never used, sadly, so you can skip her like 100%. Dementia is used a lot in the PvE content, so you kind of need her at least at Mythic Plus to start using her skills. Same case with Cassidy. You use her a lot in PvE content. Luca is not really used, so you can have him kind of with the copies that you can spare, but you don't have to focus on him. Sonya is now one of the most used heroes in Dream Realm, so you kind of need at least Supreme Plus for her. X weapon, I'm not going to go into detail. If you see, most of the heroes I have are at least 2 stars. That's my that's the way I play. So every hero that I am going to get above Supreme, above Supreme, I'll just 2-star him. If I need a hero for either PvP or PvE, I'll at least 3-star him. And if I use him a lot, he will go all the way to 6 stars or 5 stars depending, because the 6 stars are hard to get. Not once you start getting a lot of 6 stars, like it's hard to get 500 red essence. Sinbad is used a lot in, well, it was used a lot in Dream Realm. Now it's starting to just getting changed for Resto and Tolene and Harak and that kind of heroes, because it's endless mode. But before he was used, I'm not sure if he's going to be used in the remainder of the season. So I wouldn't suggest going for him. Sonya, yes. Luca, not so much. Sinbad, maybe just M+. Rowan is used everywhere in PvE, so get him at least to Supreme. Yeah, Supreme or Supreme Plus. And if you can, try to get this either either +5 to get us a super health potion with a little more buff, or +10 to get more super health potions, because this kind of helps during some levels. Hewin is used a lot in PvE, in AFK pushing, so try to get him at least to Supreme Plus. I have accounts where he is not even M+, and it's a pain to push without him. Marley is no longer used, so you can just skip her. Same as Corin, he was used in the past, not so much. Lucius is used sometimes, so you can have him at least M+ or Supreme. This guy, Walker. So Walker, sometimes you use him for towers, so it's a nice way to to push towers or push like Duress trials. So maybe get him at least 2M plus. I wouldn't recommend going all the way to Supreme because it's not really used. Um, Atlanta, it's the same. She's not used only on Duress trials or towers. Same as Balin. So out of all the heroes here, well, and this girl, I don't even use her Faye. Out of all these, I would just say go for Sonya, Temesha, Bala, Rowan, Hewin, and Cass. That's pretty much all you need from light beaters. I'll go quickly with Wilders. Wilders, you have Lenia is used a lot in some like she's a really good carry, so you can get her increased. Lily May is a must for pretty much all the content. Aaron is a must in all the content. Um, Tassie is no longer used as much as before. She can be swapped for some other hero, but some people love her, so you can get her. Hewin is one of the best healers in the game, same as Damien, so get them both. Sorry. Arden was used a lot before, not so much now, so you can either get him or like get other heroes. Brian is used as a counter to Lily May, so you can like one copy him pretty much. Um, Laika is used mostly to support Diurnal, same as Parisa, so these two you don't really need them. Flora is used in some levels, so try to get her. Granny is kind of not used. And Ulmus is used in the combo with Aaron, so you kind of need him if you want to play Aaron Ulmus combo. And this guy, I have not used him pretty much ever, so that's up to you. I see people using him. Honestly, I skipped him altogether, so that's up to you. Maulers, I think Shakir is like a must. Odie and Coco, I mean, pretty much the top row are a must. Shakir, Odie, Coco, Smokey, Mikola. Probably Brutus, you don't need him at Supreme Plus, but you are going to use him a lot in PvE levels. Alsa is really used a lot also in some Supreme levels. In some AFK levels or Supreme Arena. Satrana became a thing when Bonnie came out, so she's used now. This guy was used in some levels for Dream Realm. You're going to use him every season in the first stages of Dream Realm, so try to get some copies. Set is not really that much useful in anything because he dies super quickly. If he doesn't die in the first minutes of in the first seconds of the fight, he becomes a killing machine, but that's kind of hard. Lumont is used in some levels, but with all the heroes that came out, Lumont pretty much lost his spot. Same as Antandra. She was used a lot before because it was one of the only tanks that you had here, but now by combining factions and pretty much using Brutus, you can skip her. Finally, this dude, you never use him anywhere. I mean, people love him, but Soren is just not good. And Reese is used in some levels, not that much, but it's up to you. The ones that you really need are the top 5, and after that, pretty much the next 3 are kind of not necessary, but nice to have. From the Graveborn, I would say Bunny is the first one that you have to max. She's pretty much now used in PvP to win versus anything. She can win your matches versus pretty much anything. Ludovic is like the best healer Graveborn have. Compared to Nero is insane. I'm not sure if Sylvina is needed. I would say no. Same as Hodgkin is used in some levels for Duras trials and that kind of stuff, so you may need him. Thoran is pretty much your oldest tank and the best tank that there was before. It's kind of still good, but with all the amount of healing that we now have, it's hard that he kills like 3 or 4 heroes like he did before. Nara is really not necessary. Niru is not necessary. Viperian, you can use him if you have like if you don't have enough heroes for like your defense. He was pretty good with Cisia and Thoran, but now there are better options. Salazar is really not that used. Carolina was used a lot, not anymore. There are way better options. Even Bonnie is better option than Carolina with Aaron. This one is kind of hard to know. Balka was good for a while, but I'm not sure if she's going to remain like super good or not. Same as Kalan. Kalan, they are saying that it's a beast in PvP. Honestly, I have not tested him. I think he has potential, but I'm not sure. I will have to do some testing with him. Cisia is just there. She's useful in some levels in AFK pushing, not so much for PvE. And finally, this guy is kind of the best tank or it gets you time. Like Igor just roams around and gets you a lot of time. So if you want a stall comp, he's kind of one of the guys to go for. And finally, if we go for Celestial and Hypogeans, the order that I would recommend going, first, always go for Fresto. He's used everywhere. If you have a S plus Foresto with at least plus 10, you can change the outcome of a PvP battle versus S 2 stars or S 3 stars Foresto. I mean, it's huge. I can show you in different accounts where I don't have him S plus with at least 3 stars. I can't get above top 20. I just can't keep top 20. And accounts where I have him at least S plus with 4 stars, I was able to keep at least top 5. So that's a huge difference. Second one, I would go for maybe Rainier if you're going to do Dream Realm. Only to M plus. Don't get him to S plus. Only M plus. And that's because he has a buff that helps you lower the defense of the boss and increase your attack for one hero. So he's used pretty much even sometimes before Endless. He was also good in PvP, so you can also use him there. Who else? Maybe the next one I would go for it's Talene. Talene is used a lot in PvE and also in PvP. She's a good hero. After her, it's kind of hard. Maybe Harak, because Harak is used in PvE and PvP. And once you have those, I would say from the Celestials, the latest one that I would get would be Diurnal, followed by Donlinger, and then Scarlita. Maybe even twins are tied with Scarlita or Donlinger. But Scarlita used to be super PvP defining. Now it's not so much. Now Bonnie is PvP defining, I think. And regarding the Hypogeans, it's just Fresto, then Rainier, and last one would be Burial, because he's not really used in any mode. Harak is used everywhere, but you also can do without Harak if you don't want to be like top 5,